Morning, Staff Sergeant.
Good morning, Specialist.
Thanks for coming out here today. So, with the 3rd Infantry Division being redeployed to Africa, what would you say are the primary intentions here for the unit?
Alpha Company, 1st to the 30th, 2nd Brigade Combat Team of the 3rd ID is deploying to Africa to support U.S. counterterrorism operations in the Sahel. We'll initially deploy to the Agadez Air Base to reinforce the U.S. Army drone operations there. As you can see in the news, with the growing threat of terrorism in the AO, U.S. and NATO forces can use the additional manpower. Now, in addition to facing the terrorism threat head-on, we'll also be working to provide disaffected civilians with basic needs until local and national governments can reestablish services. We look forward to working closely with community stakeholders to accomplish both of these objectives.
Now, how long do you think the 3rd Infantry Division is expected to remain in this theater of operations?
At this point, it's virtually impossible to say until we actually begin our work in country. I know our soldiers and I want to get the job done and get home to our families as soon as possible. However, based on what we know about the AO, it's realistic to expect a roughly 6-month deployment.
Now, you did mention working with community leaders. Will the 3rd Infantry Division be working with any foreign allies, such as France, in the upcoming interventions?
We look forward to working alongside our NATO allies in Africa. Although we have no specific plans for joint operations at this time, we will consider all options as the situation develops.
Now, Staff Sergeant, how do you feel regarding the 3rd Infantry Division, especially your platoon, Widowmakers, and their ability to perform in the new theater?
Our soldiers are ready to meet the challenges ahead and prevail. Since our return home from Operation Thin Ice, we have continued to train hard to face and overcome the enemies of the United States, wherever they are. Widowmaker's platoon is battle-hardened and combat-ready. We knew what we were signing up for when we enlisted, and we look forward to the mission ahead.
Well, no further questions, Staff Sergeant. Thank you again for coming.
Thank you, Specialist.
Shortly after arriving, Staff Sergeant Brock ordered his platoon, 1st Platoon Widowmakers, to embark on a Hearts and Minds mission to secure the trust of nearby villages, which would in turn aid to the overall mission here in Africa. The trust of these villages would ensure a proper foothold in the region, being so close to the 3rd ID's forward operating base. Proper precautions are mandatory and is part of Widowmaker's standard operating procedures. As you can see here, 2 soldiers are in front of a striker, looking out for IEDs or any other dangers that might entail. As U.S. soldiers begin to enter the town, you can see 2 soldiers walk into a village elder in hopes to better relations with that of his people and the 3rd ID.